How many years have you been on this earth?
71.
Okay, so you're gonna lift 200 pounds by your 71st birthday. Was it shoulder pain that you had?
Sleeping on it for a little bit, it would wake me up, the pain, and I just thought, I can't live like this.
Tell me a little bit, Gloria, about what was life like before you started with us?
It was very limiting because I could not.
So you have no taste buds?
No.
Wow.
I still eat. I still have that memory of what things taste like.
Yeah.
Do you get any joy out of like the food that you eat? Because you can bake like amazing. You bake these amazing cookies and stuff that you bring for us. Like, do you get any joy out of eating?
Texture. It's all about texture for me now.
Right.
Yeah.
When I eat something, I tend to gravitate towards crunchy. I'll still eat chips.
Yeah.
I still crave chips.
Really?
More for the crunch than the flavor. Or when I have a really well-made beef stew, the fat that kind of coats your tongue, you know, that still brings enjoyment, but I don't taste it really. I don't enjoy cooking as much anymore. I still enjoy baking because baking it's chemistry.
Yeah.
You follow a formula, and this is what you get. You start with this, and this is what you get. Whereas with savory cooking, it's very nuanced. You
taste it as you go.
You taste it as you go, and you go, well, it tastes a little bit flat. It's not salt. Oh, it needs a little acid, and I can't taste that. So since I can't do that, I don't try new recipes.
Yeah.
Very much anymore.
So Gloria, Wendy said, "Hey, I want you to eat this versus this." It was like, yeah, no problem. It all tastes the same to me.
Yeah. Well, unless it's too lean, then you're eating it. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
Needs some butter.
That's like a superpower. That makes it really easy. So tell me a little bit, Gloria, about what was life like before you started with us. I remember you had like was it shoulder pain that you had? And, you know, you felt like things were kind of going in the wrong direction. What was life like before that?
It was very limiting because I could not, my right shoulder, I couldn't use my right arm really. I couldn't reach into top shelves to pick things up. I hadn't used the second shelf, only the second shelf in my kitchen cabinet for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I had been going to another CrossFit gym, but things kind of changed. I kind of needed a change. I wasn't getting anywhere with my shoulder, and I actually knew about Hale about a year before I finally made that phone call.
Yeah.
A lot of it, and you guys understand, it is your family. This is your second family.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to leave. You know, even though it's kind of like, well, you know, this marriage isn't working out, it's hard to leave because you're familiar.
Yeah.
It's comfortable because you're familiar. It's not comfortable because of the situation, but you're comfortable because it's familiar.
Yeah.
And, but I just, it got so bad with my shoulder where even sleeping on it for a little bit, it would wake me up, the pain, and I just thought, I can't live like this.
Yeah.
So I decided, you know, I'm going to call Hale, and I don't remember who I talked to first, but then Heidi. Was it Heidi?
Yeah, Heidi.
Yeah, but I had a Zoom call with Heidi, and when she told me that she will call me, I thought, oh, it was just going to be a quick 15, 20 minutes. I was on that call with her for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
Oh no, it was a great thing. I felt heard. I felt understood. She saw me.
Yeah.
And she set me up with Serena, and they had a plan for me. And within a matter of about a month, I'm starting to use that shoulder again.
Wow.
Albeit lighter weights and everything. And then, you know, 6 weeks, 7 weeks down the line, I realized that things had changed when I was walking down the street and I saw a friend of mine down the street, about 3/4 of the way down, and I went, oh, I know that person. And the next thing I knew, I didn't even think about it, but this arm is up and I'm going like this.
That's so cool.
And I hadn't done that in years. I hadn't done that in like 2.5, 3 years.
Oh, that's
You hadn't raised your
so-
arm over your head for, wow.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And at the time I started, my hair was short because I couldn't put my hair up in a ponytail.
Oh my God.
So I had it short, and now it's like, yeah, whatever.
Wow. Wow. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So you can now lift your shoulder over your head. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't just your shoulder that they worked on. Did you have any other kind of goals or things that you were looking for before you started?
Yeah, I was stuck like a deadlift. I was stuck at about 150, 155 for the longest time. And then I started here, and I think my last deadlift was 185, 180,
190.
190.
Yeah, because we were 10 pounds short from 200.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Wow.
logged that, but yes, 190. Because I remember I was looking at you through here the window, and I was like, okay, she better. I was like, it's 190, 10 pounds away. Because our goal is to get to 200
Yeah.
by the end of the year. That's what we said. So you're 10 pounds short
Yeah. By the end of this year.
this year. Yeah.
Which is, how many years have you been on this earth?
I have been on this earth for 70 years, 71 in December.
71
it has your
years.
birthday coming
Yeah.
up. That's
Wow.
right.
Okay, so you're gonna lift 200 pounds by your 71st birthday. That's the goal. I love that. I love that. Do you know how few people can lift 200 pounds? Like it's like the top 5% of the population. And if you go, above sort of 30, 40 years old, then it's like even less. Like that's a significant amount of weight, Gloria. Yeah.
I'm just proud that I show up, that I come.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but it's it's not just the showing up, but it's the encouragement, it's the support that I get from other members, but especially from you guys,
Yeah.
from the coaches. Yesterday's workout, the pain train. Instead of running, I got on.
Is that what it's called?
That's what it was
it was
called.
called, the pain train.
Yeah. It's a tough name for a
Yeah.
workout.
I got on the bike. I hate the assault bike.
Yeah.
It's my nemesis. But I got on the assault bike instead of running, and Mike came up to me and said, "Okay, that's fine. Do 14 calories." And the first time around, I did 14 calories, and then I just thought, I am not going to be able to keep this up. So then the second round, I did 11, and then there were six rounds on the bike. Mike came up and said, "No, just try it. You can do it. You can do it." And sure enough, I did 14. Took me a little longer each time, but I finished it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you wanted to improve your deadlift. So, I mean, you were already pretty decently strong when you started. You couldn't lift your arm over your head. Were there any other things that you were kind of struggling with before you started?
I was struggling with just finishing up a workout, and not being so wiped out at the end. And when I started, I've always worked with Wendy on my nutrition.
Yep.
And one of the first things she asked me, "How much protein are you getting? Let's keep track, see how much protein you're getting." I had no idea, but I was getting like 40, 50 grams of protein.
Yeah.
And she started me on getting more and more protein, and I'm up to 125.
25?
Yeah, 125 a day now. A couple of months into increasing my protein, I went to get a haircut, and my hairdresser, she's working on my head, and then she stopped and she asked me, "Are you on a new diet, or are you on some vitamin pills?" "Well, I'm getting more protein." "Why?" "You have all these new growths, and your hair is thicker."
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm able to finish a workout. I'm still wiped out, but I'm not wiped out to the point where, I just want to go home and sleep.
Yeah, it feels different.
It feels different. It does feel different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I thought, I don't know, is this really it? But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So your goal was fix your shoulder, get a little bit stronger. Did you want to lose weight, gain muscle, or you didn't care about any of that? You just were looking for a new kind of environment, a new place.
Actually, all of that. My diet has always been it's always been pretty decent. And I explained to Wendy, it's not what I eat, but how much I eat.
Yeah.
And then she finally got me into weighing my food.
Yeah.
And that made a big difference.
Yeah. I definitely want to get into that because this is like really important. It's actually the reason I wanted to have you on. Secretly, I'm doing this so that my mom will hear it. And she's about the same age, and I've been telling her this stuff for ages. And so when she hears that you have done it, then it will get through. So cut this part, Alberto. I don't want to hear that.
Okay.
So when you started, you walked into this place, like, was there any fear? Was there any kind of intimidation when you walked in?
No, because people were all so inviting. I've been to other gyms where you walk in and people just kind of give you the
side eye.
Side eye, yeah. But here, as soon as I walked in, hi, how are you? You guys already knew about me. And so that made it less intimidating.
Right.
But for me, it's always a little intimidating walking into a new space.
Yeah.
And not knowing the other gym members, and then when you see people that are really heavy lifters over here, and here I am with my little 55-pound barbell. It's like, okay, how are you going to receive me?
Yeah.
But it's been great.
Yeah.
It's been great. Everyone, they're also supportive, friendly, helpful.
That's the thing. Like, it's really easy to say once you've been in, but when you walk into this foreign environment, it's just really tough.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but Wendy didn't speak for like the first 2 months she was here.
No.
Yeah. So, like how you had that Zoom call with Heidi. So we used to do it in person, and it was a 90-minute thing. And I was the one doing it. And it was with Wendy and her sister. And Wendy did not say one word other than maybe her name for the entire 90 minutes. And she didn't speak for the first 2 months that she was here.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Just intimidated or shy.
Yeah. I mean, I was very shy. I was also very self-conscious about my English too as well. Yeah, so I think it was a little bit of that too. But I've never been to a CrossFit gym. So like me seeing, Heidi doing kipping pull-ups and then seeing box jumps, it's a little overwhelming a little bit. It was a little overwhelming for me, but then also intimidating too as well. And then it was scary. And then my sister did all the talking and I was just listening. It was actually her idea to try this gym. I wanted to, do my thing at 24.
Yeah.
That's where I was at before.
And she wouldn't come unless her sister came.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah.
And then it was like one time where she didn't come and you were here by yourself and you didn't die. So
yeah,
it ended up being all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's really common for people to just have this sort of fear because you see other people doing stuff. So you managed to overcome that.
Yes.
What was the hardest part when you first started?
The hardest part, gosh.
That was what, a year ago, maybe?
Year and a half ago. I started April of 2022.
Yeah.
Actually, the hardest part is just walking through the door. I would say the first 4 to 6 weeks of walking through the door and just not knowing what to expect. Who's going to be here? Am I going to see any familiar faces?
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. The coaches were all really nice. As soon as you walk in, it's like, hey, good morning, Gloria.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are you doing today? How's that shoulder? But then when you actually start working out with a room full of people, I think a lot of it's just insecurities.
How long from the time you started till the time you started seeing progress? Like, when did you start noticing things were changing for you?
Once the shoulder started to get better, I noticed changes. And once the shoulder got better, I was also able to work more on my form.
Yeah.
And that's when I really noticed, I would say a couple of months.
So, Coach, what was the plan for Gloria when she started? There was obviously some shoulder stuff, but then there was also some nutrition. Like, what did you recommend?
Yeah, the very first thing was she was just getting like about 30 grams of protein when she first started. And as we see, when there's an injury, like protein intake is very important for it to heal.
Yeah.
So that's the very first thing I had her do is just focus on the protein intake. So I had her start at hitting 50 to start with for 2 straight weeks. And then checked in. We also took a in-body scan just to make sure that her muscle mass was going up or she was maintaining. And then, so we did that for 3 weeks. And then after that, we went up a little bit more. My goal was to get her as close as possible to her body weight, which that's really hard for someone who barely has any protein. So, and then after that, we slowly went up to 100.
Yeah. Well, what were you, so you made these changes and you were seeing like muscle was going up and then you're like, okay, great. We're going to continue.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
She was also getting more hungry too. I remember you saying that as she was moving more, she was being more mobile. She was using her shoulder more. She was getting a little bit more hungry. So I was like, great, this is a great sign. That means we can go even more up protein, right? Because your body's wanting more. And then another one was sleep for her. Sleep has been one that we have been working on recently. And sleep was one thing that was really just like destroying her. Also
So you
with
weren't
her.
getting enough sleep.
No.
Right. Okay. So you're under eating, you're overtraining, you're not getting enough sleep. That's some.
Yeah. And I've told Wendy and Heidi this is, I don't see myself as an athlete.
Yeah.
And it never occurred to me that I was overtraining because aside from coming here, I was doing a yoga class. I'm on my treadmill for an hour to an hour and a half, or I get on my rower at home.
Right. So you were exercising every day
Yeah.
for at least an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm doing several hours every day
Yeah.
because I'm doing all these things in one day.
Yeah.
It was not unusual for me to come here, go to a noon yoga class, and then in the afternoon get on my treadmill.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was pretty much working out for like, I don't know, 3 to 4 hours a day.
But I don't see myself as an athlete. I'm not an athlete.
So why were you working out so much?
I'm retired.
Just nothing else to do?
Nothing else to do. I wanted to keep moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing you did mention too was that your weight wasn't going down. And seeing the scale, like the weight being stuck at a certain number also was getting to your head too a little bit. So you figure, well, if I work out more, it would help with that
so
too.
you wanted to lose weight, so you were working out a lot. And you were, I mean, I'm guessing, were you following a diet before? Were you cutting calories or?
Basically cutting calories. I was following my Fitness Pal. 1,200 calories a day.
Right. Yeah.
Plus, when I did go see my doctor about my sleep, she would say, well, I think you should move more, get a little more exercise.
Right.
Not asking me, how much exercise do you get now?
Yeah.
But, you should move. So I just thought, okay, all right. So I'll start.
Yeah, moving a lot more. Yeah.
This is so perfect because this is exactly the situation that a lot of people find themselves in. No one really teaches you how to do health and fitness. You go to your doctor and they say, your weight has gone up. You might want to cut back on whatever, and then you do it. And then you go to a trainer and they say, hey, take these supplements or whatever. You read an article and it says you should try this diet or do this extra cardio. And you piece together all this information that is not really like specific to you. It's just helpful tips. And you live your life based on these helpful tips. And you can end up in a situation like you were in. You're working out 2 hours a day, eating 1,200 calories, and wondering why you're not losing weight.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's so common.
And feeling tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And your shoulder doesn't work.
Yeah. And my shoulder doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I do, I attribute my shoulder situation today, aside from the PT and the program that you guys put me on for my shoulder, but also my diet, you know, upping the protein
Yeah.
Yeah.
and more greens and veggies.
So you are now eating what
5.
125 grams of protein, and you're measuring that on a regular basis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do.
And you're eating more fruits and vegetables, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Are you trying to hit a calorie goal, or does that not matter?
I'm not. I don't look at the calories anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the beginning, I was looking at the calories a bit, but then I realized that when I hit my macros, that the calories automatically kind of follow it.
Yeah.
It's 125 protein, 100
35
of
carbs.
carbs, and then 55 fat.
Yeah. So that sounds like somewhere in the range of 2,000 calories, maybe
Little.
1,700.
Yeah, 1,700.
1,800. So you're eating more calories.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I'm just looking at your stats here. So I want to share a couple of these with you. I know you. Do you know them? Do you know your stats?
Some of them.
All right. So you came in. You were 155 pounds, and as of the last scan, you know, this is like 18 months later, you're 143 pounds. So you lost 11 total pounds, but of those 11 total pounds, you've lost almost 13 pounds of fat. Right? So it's like you actually lost more fat and you gained muscle during the time. So you gained 2 pounds of muscle at 70 years old, which is amazing. So you gained 2 pounds of muscle and you're eating more,
Yeah.
right? You're eating more. So we have this thing called visceral fat, which is like the amount of fat around your organs. And that the way we rank this is on a scale of 1 to 20. Right? If you're 20, then there's a lot of fat around your organs. You're at higher risk of like heart disease and things like that. So when you started, you were at level 12, and now you're at level 8. So you're actually you're healthier in general by eating more and presumably working out less. You're not doing 3 hours a day anymore.
I still come here.
Yeah. Okay. So you're working out less and you're eating more. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing.
No, that's not. That's Hale.
But I mean, this is the thing. Like, I talk to people in their 40s that are like, oh, well, I guess this is, I'm just getting to be that age where things change. And you started here after already working out a tremendous amount. You started here at 70, or I guess maybe, you were 70 at the time.
I was 69.
69 at the time. And in 18 months, like, you've improved in almost every marker that you can think of. And just by making these sort of tweaks. And it's like, this is honestly the reason we do what we do, is because we find that almost everybody just does these like little tips and stuff and tries to make it work. And if they see the weight on the scale going down, then they say, great, I'm doing the right thing. Yeah. But it's not the whole picture.
No, it's not the whole picture. And it's whatever, like you said, you take a little bit here, you take a little bit there, and, you've got Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
But whereas you guys customize something for me, taking into account my age, my shoulder, everything.
You've done a bunch of other stuff here. What is, of all of the things that have happened, like all of the kind of stuff you've done at the gym, which one sort of stands out for you?
That I finished Murph in under an hour.
That's awesome.
And honestly, just before I was ready to run out that door, I was just going to do the half mile and then come back and do another half mile.
Yeah.
And Heidi said to me, okay, I just want to bring something up with you guys before you head out. I know, you guys are going to just do the half mile, but you might want to consider doing that full mile. Because I'll tell you, once you do that half mile, that other half mile is not that much. And you're gonna kick yourself if you don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was smart, because she, instead of letting us ruminate about this, she didn't tell us until we were almost out the door. Then it was like, oh God, okay, let's do it. I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I saw a video of you climbing a rope.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Rope climb.
Yeah.
My first rope climb. My first toes to bar.
Wow.
And then when we did what was it?
Double unders too.
Oh, and double unders?
Yeah. Wow.
I know.
Rope climb, toes to bar, and double unders?
All this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
First timers all this year at 70 freaking years old.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, not everyone can climb a rope, Gloria. So that's I always tell people, I'm like, my goal is to do what Gloria is doing when I'm her age. Cause like you're definitely like one of our most athlete persons here. Cause people look up to you. They're always looking up to you. Like I can name 5 members that come here that are always looking up to you. Like you're their goals when you're, when we get to your age.
Or now, because most people can't climb a rope.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Or do a toes to bar, or do
Yeah.
a double under.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you were a smoker for 15, 20 years,
Yep,
right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And so you made all these changes kind of like, was there a part in your life? I know you quit smoking many years ago. Was there a time in your life you're like, okay, I'm going to take care of my health and I'm going to like take all of these steps? Because you went from being a smoker to someone that works out 3 hours a day. Like, what kind of happened there? Why did you start to make those changes?
I started to make those changes because I realized that no one's going to look out for me. If I want to make changes in my life, if I want to feel better about myself, about my life, I have to do it. And better yet, I have to find people that will help me do it. But you have to want to do it. I know there are some people that they're members of the gym, but then they don't come regularly, and you can't. That's the thing, is you can't make somebody you can't make somebody have that motivation to come in and work out regularly, to eat regularly, and it doesn't mean that you can't have pizza when you want, or hey, I want that ice cream cone, but it's a matter of moderation. And those are things that I'm still learning myself. I still learn myself. Yeah, there are times when I binge.
Yeah.
But
was there something that happened that motivated you? Like, why do you have that motivation where maybe others don't?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's just different for everybody. I don't know, learning to love yourself. I think that's a big part of it.
Do you think you were not doing that before that?
No, I don't think so, because when I look at relationships that I've had, when I look at friends that I've had in the past, and how I kept up with, there is one particular friend that I had known for 30 years, and I always said she was my best friend. And then something happened, and when I looked back at it, it really was a very one-sided friendship, but I always would just kick that out of my mind, because no, she's my friend, she likes me, she's my friend, she likes me. But when you start realizing that, you know what, hey, I think I deserve better things in life. I deserve to be respected. I deserve to be able to walk into this gym, and I don't know, it's hard to say what clicked for somebody and it doesn't click for somebody else. I think it gets to the point where you're tired of, you wake up in the morning and you don't feel good, or you wake up in the morning and it's like, oh my God, my lungs are hurting, and you're reaching for that other cigarette. Even while your lungs are hurting, it's, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's...
It's like, what changed for you? What made you decide to all of a sudden want to lose that weight and get healthy?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I think I had a similar experience. And it's, there was a couple of things, and it all kind of comes together. But it's like, I went to the emergency room for chest pains. That was one thing. It wasn't anything serious, but I was over 300 pounds, and I thought chest pains meant heart attack, and it wasn't. But the fact that I was there, and I thought, oh, I might be having heart problems at the age of 30, maybe I should make some changes. And I still didn't make any changes. And then it was this idea that, I'm going to be moving at some point. I got a job transfer. I was like, well, it'd be nice if I, actually took this thing seriously. And even then it was just like, I'm going to try a bunch of different things, see what sticks. And something finally stuck to the point where I did it for 6 weeks or whatever. And I started seeing results, and then it started snowballing from there. But it's like, you could think about it like maybe a rock bottom moment, but it's actually more like a feeling. It's like, I don't feel great. I want something to change. And then when you have that feeling and you take action and you start to see results, then you start to feel like, oh, I can actually change. That's what it was for me. Yeah. And it sounds like it was similar for you. It was like you made a few changes and you started to see some results, and then they sort of like got into bigger and bigger changes.
It started with just going to this studio in Point Richmond. But most of the members they're older, and it was basically a lot of mobility type movements, very light weights, and it got to the point where it wasn't enough for me.
Yeah.
I needed to do more, and that's when I started. And then when I started yoga, and got stronger with yoga, then I need more.
Yeah.
And then I found a CrossFit gym,
Yeah.
and found that, okay, this is a good combination for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And you just keep looking
And I just
for
kept
more,
looking for more and more.
Yeah. That's absolutely it. And I have this kind of feeling that life, like joy in life, really comes from growth. It's like if you're growing, then you're doing well, like you're happy.
Yeah.
If you're not growing, it doesn't matter how quote unquote good your life is, it's not going to feel great.
Yeah. My sister, she is going to be 73 in January. She just started a CrossFit program, and she lives in Castro Valley. So the gym that she goes to is in San Leandro.
Yeah.
And I've been talking about it with her for a number of years, and she finally decided, okay, I'm going to try it. She has a lot of injuries. She's always been very active, rowing. She was a dragon boat racer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's always been very active, but she has a lot of injuries. So she started with this CrossFit gym, and it's been about 3 or 4 months. And I get a call from her the other day, and she goes, "Oh, hey, her husband, my brother-in-law, he's bedridden with Parkinson's."
Yeah.
And she's his primary caregiver. And she said, "Oh, I actually got him up, and it was easy."
Yeah. Oh man, that is amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
So
it's what's really cool about this is you already were active and you were already doing stuff, and you've still made I have this big list of like all the things that you've done. Your deadlift went up 55 pounds, your back squat went up 57 pounds. You can bench press 25 more pounds. Like you're faster on your rowing. Gosh, what else? Oh, you finished a couple of baseline workouts faster. Like you're just doing a lot more than you did when you started. What's next for you?
I'll definitely keep coming here. It's what I love about this is that every day that you come in, it's always a different program. It's always different. And every so many months, there's always a new cycle of something. So there's always something to look forward to. And Wendy knows that my favorite is on Fridays with her because I love doing curls. So I started with these little 10-pounders, and I'm doing 25-pounders now, and I'm like, hey.
Yeah, I love that. Do you have any goals going forward?
I would like to keep improving, and when I say improve, it could mean heavier, but a lot of it would be technique. And I realize that at my age, there's going to come a point where I won't be going heavier, but I just want to maintain what I have.
Yeah.
And my biggest goal, and I tell everybody this, I'm not embarrassed about saying this, is that when I'm 85 years old, I want to still take a shit by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
for
I don't want somebody in there
Yeah.
helping me and wiping my butt. You know,
Yeah.
I want to do it by myself.
Yep.
Hey, me too.
Yeah.
So that's my big goal in life. But I think at some point, I probably won't be seeing the types of improvements that I have now, but maintaining what I have.
I mean, the funny thing
I
is,
want to be as healthy as I can. For as long as I live, I want to be as healthy and independent
yeah.
as I can.
Well, there are people 10 years younger than you that are saying that about themselves now. It's just like, well, I probably am not going to be able to add weight or get stronger or make changes.
No. Have them talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to run
Yeah.
over because I
Yeah.
have class.
So, Gloria, just last question for you. Somebody out there that was like you or like you before you started all of this, what would be your best advice for them?
My best advice for them would be, don't close yourself off because of your age. You would be surprised what you can do. And honestly, I think I'm living proof
Yeah.
of what you can do. And even with injuries, if you have injuries that can be improved, you can come here. But also, you've got to start. You have to take that first step.
Yeah.
You have to take that first step and start. Love yourself.
Yeah. I love that.
That's it. Love yourself.
Gloria, I really appreciate you doing this. It has just been unbelievable to see the progress you've made over the last year and a half. And it really is inspiring. I watch you, making personal records on all of these different things and doing it with a smile every day. And I just really appreciate you being part of our community. So,
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I love being part of this community. I really do.
yeah.
And I hope to be a part of this community for many, many years to come.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you all. And if you have any questions, send them through. We'll make sure that we get them to Gloria so she can answer those. And we'll see you all next time. Bye. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, we've got plenty of others. Go check out this one over here.